right, so we are back. Gonna do a kind of impromptu little episode here with my co-host Cam. We kind of want to talk about Scoot Henderson's debut. He got injured, but has some or showed some flashes, and then how that all kind of relates to the Dame conundrum and the Dame trade request. So let's just start off, Cam. Initial reactions to Scoot Henderson. He came in, had a great first game, and kind of took the crowd and the atmosphere by storm. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, I mean, he easily has the best first step in summer league right now. I don't think that's much of a debate. His speed is just undeniable. It really sucks that he had to exit that game one with a shoulder injury. Would have liked to see him play a few more games, get a little more comfortable out there on the NBA floor. But he did drop 15 points in the first quarter here. So, that is something. He's showing the leader and kind of score he can be. And what I really saw from him that I liked is he's talking out there on defense. And it's really hard, especially with young players, to really get them to come out there and like communicate, talk with some of the older guys. But again, like this team really doesn't have a ton of leadership already when Dame's not out there. So there's kind of that void in the power structure. I think Scoot's going to be that guy. So, I mean, Portland set up here to really, if they can get a great return for Dame, like they're set up for huge success. I mean, Shaden Sharp's also been awesome in summer league.
Yeah, there aren't many guys who go out there and not only try to score buckets, but also do the little things. We're seeing Scoot do the little things, like you were saying, communicating on defense. He's getting back in transition. When he has the ball in transition, if he's trying to push it, he's not trying to go solo one man wrecking ball. He's trying to get his teammates involved too. He has a little bit of that Chris Paul in him, but he has that athleticism like Russell Westbrook, which makes him such an interesting prospect. Now, going off of that a little bit, you don't see many Hall of Famers take some people under their wing, and we're seeing Stephen Curry be like, you know what? Nah, this guy, we're working out together, we're getting shooting drills together, we're doing dribbling drills, everything together because you know what? I see something in this guy. And that makes me want to talk about Damian Lillard. Now, the Portland Trailblazers did not trade that number three pick because they thought they had a chance at Scoot, and they were right. They got Scoot Henderson, and they got, in my opinion, their next franchise player for the next decade, 15 years. And with that being said, they're telling Dame, we actually don't want to package this pick for something and that's not going to get us into a top six spot in the playoffs. Cam, talking about this Dame trade, what you would do if you were the Portland GM, and then throw me some trade offers too.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a complex issue. You got to have your franchise guy who's been the cornerstone and the face of your entire organization for years. I mean, I can't even remember like seeing. I mean, we've never seen Dame in another jersey, but I can't even remember what Portland looked like without him. So I mean, you
A
you
little
do want to
Brandon
do.
Roy, LaMarcus Aldridge, Nicholas Batum action, yeah, but it
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
that
but I
great.
just that just feels like a lifetime ago. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just but you got to look towards the future. You can't get stuck too much in like the in the moment. You don't want to sacrifice your future just to do right by your superstar. As much as I love Dame and I want to see him succeed, everybody knows he wants to go to Miami and play with Jimmy and Bam, but Miami doesn't have the pieces to put together anything remotely close to what Dame is worth. I mean, Jaime Jaquez Jr., a couple firsts, and Tyler Hero is not going to get the job done. And if you're not moving off Jimmy or Bam, which we're clearly not after two finals runs in the last 3 years, those are your franchise corner pieces. Got to look to other teams. I know you touched on Utah the other day, but we saw that the Nets offered this for Damian Lillard. They want Nurkic and Damian Lillard for Royce O'Neal, Nick Claxton, Ben Simmons, and 4 first-round picks. That is easily and miles better than the pack anything Miami could put together. I mean, you do have to get Ben Simmons contract on your books, which we know right now he's kind of looking like a bad deal, but you do get Nurkic's expiring deal off your books as well. You did lock up Jeremy Grant for the next 5 years for 160 million. So having both of those contracts for big money is not the best place, but outside of that, they don't have a ton of other high paid players on their team. You got a lot of young guys on good deals and good contracts. So I mean, I that's the best deal I've seen for Dame so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And with Ben Simmons, it's crazy that we've gotten to this point. If Ben can just be a lockdown defender, Ben, we're not asking you to be the incredible passer you were your first 3 years in the NBA. We're not asking you to be a good rebounder. We're not asking you to push the ball in transition. You got Shaden Sharp, you got Scoot Henderson for that, and Anthony Simons. We're asking you to lock people down. If you can't do that, then man, I don't know what you're going to give me in the NBA anymore. But like you said, miles better than Miami. And not only do Miami not have the best offer, they actually have the worst player as a centerpiece in the offer. What do the Blazers need to do with Tyler Hero? Why would they want him? Why would they want another guard who's ball dominant and shoots the ball a lot? You don't need that. You're taking the ball out of your best young player's hands. Now, I heard this on the Bill Simmons podcast, and I don't want to act like it's my own original thought, but it was brilliant. Let's say Jimmy Butler goes to the Miami Heat front office and he says, I want a 4-year max extension. I got you to the finals 2 times in 4 years since I've been here. I deserve this extension. The Miami Heat give it to Jimmy Butler. For Miami Heat fans, if Jimmy 1 year later asked out and said, I want to be in LA, do they owe it to Jimmy Butler to do it just because he got them where they are? Not at all. You shouldn't trade Jimmy Butler for Rui Hachimura and 2 first-round picks because Jimmy got us 2 NBA finals. It makes no sense. So to do that with Dame and 40 cents on the dollar, we're not talking about 70 cents on the dollar. We're not talking about getting Dejounte Murray back or a player who's even all-star caliber. You're asking for 40 cents on the dollar, Cam. You said that Nets trade, the Miami Heat trade isn't enough. Are there any other teams that you would maybe be willing to do a trade with if you're the Portland Trailblazers GM?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think Tyler Hero is better than Anthony Simons will be in the next 2 to 3 years. I don't think that's a
Agreed.
crazy thing to say. I mean, I think he's definitely younger than Tyler Hero. I think he has more ability on the defensive end. But outside of that team, another team, I know you mentioned this before, but Utah is definitely a factor in this one as well. They've got a ton of picks. They got a ton of young players. I mean, maybe Markkanen we could see getting moved in this deal. I know they got a lot of young talent in the draft as well. You know how high I am on Keontae George. So, I mean, could we see him getting moved in a package there? Who knows? I mean, I both of those guys can put together better packages than Miami. So unless there's a 3-team trade here, I don't see a world where Damian Lillard ends up on the Miami Heat.
Absolutely. And the last thing I'll say before we get on out of here is this. Damian Lillard, right? It's weird because with a player like Dame, you'd expect them to kind of get what they want. But Dame, you signed a 4-year extension. You don't have 1 year left on your deal. You don't have leverage. The only leverage you have is Chris Haynes saying you won't play for a team if you get traded there. That's not how basketball works. That's not how having a job works. You will not get your game check. Like, what are we talking about here? It's crazy because I saw Kevin Durant on Twitter talking about this too, and people are rightfully getting upset saying, if I'm a fan of an NBA team and my favorite player signs an extension, that now means that he's just going to ask out a year later with the money he got with the extension. That's not how it should go. So, Dame, I don't think it's good for the league that NBA superstars are now asking for the extension and then asking out. Portland, you have all the leverage in the world. Dame has none. Make the trade that is the best for your franchise, like Cam said before we get out of here. Portland has some great young pieces, and it would be a shame to see them trade their future for 40 cents on the dollar. Cam, anything else you got to say before we head on out of here?
Yeah, I know. Just because we've been talking about Portland so much, got to shout out our boy John Butler Jr. Been balling in summer league so far. Some huge blocks, some big threes. Love to see that. We know he's a good friend of ours. So just keep hooping, my boy.
Absolutely. Like Cam said, John Butler Jr. Listen to that podcast. I'll put it up here. Is it a YouTube version? If it's not, I'll put the link to the podcast in the description. John Butler, floor spacing, 7-footer, can do it all. He's out there. He was one of the integral parts of our FSU team 2 years ago, and the reason why we dethroned the number 6 Duke in the tuck when that happened. With that being said, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Got great reactions and feedback for our last video with the Wemby versus Brandon Miller. I'll put that one up here right now. But until then, we will see you guys later. Peace.
It's a 16 buff in the dark.